A real quick video we're going to do here, guys, and what I've got is my front forks. I replaced the front end on this bike last year, put new forks in, but the one thing that I didn't do is I didn't align the forks, and there's a process to making sure that the forks line up inside the top and, what's hard to see, bottom triple tree, which is down in there. So I'm going to try to get those aligned today, and what I've done is I've got this on my lift in the reverse way. You don't need a lift, you just got to have a way to keep the bike balanced upright, and for me I've got a couple straps and I got it clamped. Now one of the issues can be is that maybe your handlebars aren't straight or whatnot. The handlebars are straight on this bike. You just want to do it to make sure that there's no tension, that when I put this together that I put it together right and I didn't put any tension in the fork, so that the bike will track straight and true as it goes down the road. So the first thing I got to do is I got to loosen up this nut. Don't have to take it off, just loosen it. We're not going to do anything with this one down here, just this. For this bike, this nut is 30 millimeter. So we don't touch anything back here now. This is just completely loosened up, and we don't touch anything else up here. But now we got to loosen up the two pinch bolts down on the bottom triple tree. And see those bolts right there, those two bolts? That's what we got to loosen up next. We got to do it on this side, and we got to do it over there. So now I'm on the floor, and I'm going to look up, and you can see those bolts right there. And the reason they have a little bit of white paint on them is because every time I torque something on this bike, I update the color, so that way I know that I've done it. Those two bolts, I got to back them off. They're 12 millimeter. One. There's two. And we'll do the other side. Alright, now I'm on the right side of the bike. The right side is if you were sitting on it. Now, if you remember right, when I took this apart, for my regular viewers, I discovered that one of these bolts, when I bought the bike, was only finger tight, and the other one wasn't even there. It was completely gone. And that's because someone had wrecked the bike and forgot to put stuff back together and drove it like that for 10 years. Alright, so we're loosened up there now. So the next part of this process is going to be simple. We just have to compress the front end of the bike a few times to push it all the way down. Now remember, the top is secured, the bottom isn't, so it can float now. There's movement inside there, so everything will align itself back together. When you compress it, you just have to be careful you don't do any movements and gyrations on the bike. You need to compress it and then carefully get off the bike so you don't turn the handlebars, and then you'll be good to go. That would be this side. And I'm going to grab a torque wrench and torque those up. It says here the front fork lower clamp bolts are 16.5 foot-pounds. So don't guess, just get yourself a torque wrench. They're cheap enough to have and super good peace of mind, because you don't have to worry about if you've under-torqued it, because over-torquing it can be just as bad. Alright, here we go. There's that. Now do the top one. There's that. Now we'll do the other side. There's that. Now we'll do the top one. Yeah, that's probably a better angle to see, huh? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of guessing on torque. I've ruined a lot of things over the years because I have a tendency to over tighten everything, and I had a $600 carburetor, and I was probably, I don't know, early 20s, and I tightened up the ear too tight on a brand new $600 carburetor and snapped the ear right off the side of it. So if that doesn't make you sick to your stomach when you're a young guy working and struggling and, you know, trying to have a hobby, I don't know what will. And I went back through a second time and I went on each of those bolts on both sides just to make sure that they were at 16.5 foot-pounds of torque. So now we got to tighten down that nut, the steering stem head nut. That's the one we loosened, and that calls for 47 foot-pounds. We got to be real careful not to turn this, you know, put torque on this as we're tightening this down and then start twisting this. Yeah, just want to check, make sure you got good steering play and that it's not sloppy. Grab the forks, make sure you've done everything right. Double check your work, and I think I'm going to be good to go now. And that's all there is to it, guys. This is just a real simple way to make sure that your forks are aligned. It's good to do. I do this occasionally to all my bikes, especially after I've taken the front tire off or replaced brakes or, you know, just hitting potholes and stuff. Things can get tweaked and get out of alignment. It's just something good to do occasionally. In my experience, it does make a difference. And it's going to keep your forks from binding and pinching, which is also going to save your fork seals. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you soon on the next one. Take care, stay safe, see ya.